So, namaste everyone, and welcome to another session. I'm starting the chanting also. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I will chant. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Lokesmin dvividha nishtha Pura prokta maya nakha Jnana yogena sankhyanam Karma yogena yoginam Na karmanam anarambhan Naishkarmyam purushoshnute Na cha sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhigacchati Nahi kaschid shanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krit Karyate hyavashah karma Sarvah prakritirjai gunaihi Karmendriyani संयम्य ya aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mithyacharasa uchyate yastvindriyani manasa niyamyarabhatirjuna कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्मजायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः So we continue with chapter 3, titled Karma Yoga. Bhagavad Gita is a book of solutions addressing a universal human experience, which is Shloka, grief, and how to convert that shock into one's own benefit, quote unquote, as in converting it that one can become free of that state. जो दुख का अनुभव करता है, कर रहा है, जिसको दुख होता है, जो एक्नॉलेज करते हैं कि हमको दुख है, कारण कुछ भी, डोंट वरी अबाउट द कारण, whatever be the reason, right, wrong, justified, unjustified, but whoever feels कि दुख है, opportunity of freeing themselves from such an avastha in the future ever again, that you can claim to live without dukh, that opportunity is opened up in this study of Bhagavad Gita. जिनको दुख होता है, जो दुखी हैं, अपने आप को मानते हैं कि हम दुखी होते हैं, हमको दुख है, that is the very opportunity. उसको seizing that, seeking that, using that opportunity, उस विषाद को योग बनाना means I am taking that dukhi man and seeking a solution whereby I will be free in the future. वो कोई तरीका है कि हम कभी दुखी हो ही नहीं. The permanent solution of dukh nivaran. Because in a state of dukh, our mind gets confused, our buddhi is clouded, the sense of right and wrong is lost, and somehow life has to continue. So we do things, we act based on impulsive behavior or instant gratification, as a result of which very often we do things that are not meant to be done. Why are they not meant to be done? Because they are the ones that are going to bring results which are going to become more dukh in the future. If today the state of dukh itself is overwhelming and I can see no hope ahead, then by doing things that are going to be wrong, because in a moment of confusion, in a moment of delusion that has come because of grief, शोक से जो मोह हो गया, उसमें अगर मैंने कुछ कर्म किया, वो बिना सोचे होगा, बिना समझे होगा, बिना जाने होगा कि उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस क्या हैं. Is it to be done or not to be done? So many times in a spurt of anger, we say things that we regret later. We do things out of temptations that bring contrary results in the later. They affect relationships, they affect careers, they affect life, they affect the course of normal course of even little happiness that one gets in life. It can turn into a lot of difficulties and struggles. So, Bhagavad Gita is that opportunity. जो दुखी है, जानते हैं कि दुख होता है, yet they will want a freedom from, they start seeking. ऐसी कोई अवस्था है, ऐसा कोई तरीका है जीने का. Who is asking for liberation after death? उसको क्या पता? Who's interested in that? Truly speaking, No, that's not very attractive. But when I see that life has struggles and they seem to be cyclically always there and seem to have very little respite, the seeking from people is, from human beings is, what comes from within is, can I invest my life, even if it is a little time? I know I can't get away from things, but can I find a way in which I can live without having the experience of conclusiveness in me कि मैं दुखी हूँ, कि मैं दुखी हूँ का विचार karna is an opportunity that Vishad becomes yoga. So, first chapter was Arjun's Vishada Yoga. How to convert that into a seeking, into a wanting to know how to be free, if there is a possibility ever. And Vedas give us the way. The way is twofold. Keeping in mind आज जो मन की स्थिति है किसी जीव की. First chapter said Vishadgrast Arjun. Arjuna is Vishad. He has grief. That is his manosthiti present, in the present condition, at that present moment. Seeing that present moment of a person, the question is, how is this person going to find a state of freedom of this grief? So there are two ways Vedas show us. In the present, if you are seeking a solution because there is some grief or allied, grief is a symbolic here, it represents any of those limited sense of emotions, which in the common sense people may talk of unhappiness, agitation, disturbance. Keeping that in mind, if the present seeker is अपने आप को दुखी मान के सीख कर रहा है, उसके लिए एक रास्ता अलग है. अलग है in the sense he has a different prakriya, a different methodology, a different step to take first. He has to undergo a certain, what would be the right word? He has to qualify. He has to first qualify for what he wants, because जो दुखी है जब वो सीख कर रहे हैं तो invariably 99.9% of the people are not looking for a permanent solution out of that dukh. They are looking for some immediate relief of that dukh, which means give us some advice, tell us what to do. Should we do more pujas? Should we do danam? Should we do some more investments? What do we do that we get relief now? Such a seeker has to first qualify for finding freedom. First step उसके लिए क्या है? उसके लिए first step है कर्म करते रहो. कर्मों को करने में there should be no resistance. To do what you are ordained to do, what is come to you as a duty, what you identify is what you ought to be doing. Shastra Vihit Karm. Shastra Vihit Karm was a lot of clarity and more direct in its results. Those Shastra Vihit Karms were based on ashram and ashram dharma and varna dharma, but in the society that has fallen off. So a little longer a process would be. It will take longer time. What? At least the duties I identify now within your family, within your work, within wherever. Some identification of a duty has to be there. अपनी मर्जी के कर्मों में नहीं, बट फर्स्ट मर्जी के कर्मों से ड्यूटी के कर्मों में come to that. In those karmas, when you do them, there are adjustments in your mind, in your thinking, in your outlook. For those adjustments to take place, first and foremost is a very honest knowledge of one's own mind. अपने विचारों के साथ, अपनी सोच के साथ. There is a lot of honesty in a person. How do I think? How do I react? And that honesty is an objective honesty, which means it's not a colored, subjective opinion of my own self, but I have a fair, objective knowledge of my strengths and my weaknesses, and I understand how I basically approach or react to things. What are my likes and dislikes? What are my preferences? My sense of individuality should be fairly knowable to me, objectively. Once I know that, then as I keep acting, कर्म करते रहने में, Shastra says, be observant. आपके कर्म को जो बांधता है, आपको जो कर्म में बांधता है, कर्म by itself नहीं बांधता. Karma is not a bondage. Karma is, Bhagwan is going to say it in the future, is a gift given, is unique to human beings. Karma, the capacity to do karma is divine, is extraordinary. That capacity to do karma is not looked down upon in the Shastra. In fact, Shastra tells us to go on doing what you should be doing. But to make those adjustments come from where? What are the adjustments? How will I find freedom? While I do the actions, I start seeing what is it that is disturbing me, truly speaking. अगर हम खुद इतना सोच सकते, तो we would have figured out most of our disturbance, 99.9 recurring, very safe to assume such a number, is that things are not according to our likes and dislikes. हमारी मर्जी से नहीं हो रही है, हमारी मर्जी strong है. I prefer it in a way. I may be right also. I like it in a way, and I don't like certain things. Those likes and dislikes actually start influencing my action. कर्मों में करते करते, what starts influencing that action is my likes and my dislikes. What other influences my quality of action, my capacity to act? क्या बाधा बन सकता है? The other thing that becomes a badha, lot of people who are today supposing great entrepreneurs and have held big businesses started very humble, have had as struggling days as anyone else. But as they get success, there is something that changes within them. There's a sense of accomplishment that comes. I am right. I know how to do. I know what that egoism starts. That egoism is a very definite natured egoism. It is to do with your karta, kartritvam, your extension in your action. You identified with your role of an actor, karta, and that starts getting arrogation. You arrogate it. So कर्तृत्व भाव बढ़ जाता है. जैसे जैसे accomplishment होती है, as much you start gaining success, there is a sense of accomplishment, कर्ता भाव बढ़ता है. If there is a failure, then also कर्ता भाव बढ़ सकता है, because it's an inverted sense of emphasis on I did, but I did not get what I wanted, I don't know what, etc. etc. The idea is your attention is on yourself as a doer, so that kartritvam also grows. So, what is the first thing that becomes an obstacle or a cause of disturbance? रुक रुक के होता रहता है is my रागद्वेष, मेरे इच्छाएं, मेरे मेरी preferences, मेरी likes and dislikes. That's the first thing. The second thing is my egoism, my karta bhav, my kartritvam. The third thing that I find that disturbs me in my action is when while I'm doing it, I'm already looking at the fruit. मुझे क्या मिलेगा, मुझे कितना मिलेगा, और कैसे मिल सकता है, अगर कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है और बाधा हो रही है मिलते मिलते, how am I going to handle that, how should I avoid that, etc. etc. But my mind goes into the future of what this action should result into, and it should give me, I'm expecting a result from this action, I'm expecting to get something. That is why I am doing it. Why am I doing that action? I'm expecting to get a result. And therefore, while I am acting, I'm doing my karma. But I find that my actual attention on action is compromised, is affected, is diluted, is proportionately divided, because a part of my mind has moved into the future, and in the background of my mind I am result oriented, I am result hooked on the result, I'm phala ichha, phalecha. If you do the combination of the word phalecha, if you break up the word phal ichha, phal prapti ki ichha, that is what is coming in the way of my performance of action. So the three things are primarily, universally, commonly seen to be the cause of disturbance which can affect the karma. And knowing that karma is, other side of karma is phal, which means the fruit, the result. One side of the coin is karma, the other side of the coin is phal. They are inseparable. कर्म निश्चित ही फल देता है. There is no way that karm cannot transform, will not give a result. It can't happen. अगर कोई कहे नहीं हम कर्म कर रहे हैं और कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, no, impossible. कुछ नहीं हो रहा, according to you what you want may be another thing, but कुछ फल तो है. That is uncompromising law. As much a law as science today will accept gravity and etc., even science laws can change. But this law is not going to change as long as there is a human being. This law is infallible. What is that? Karma produces, is the cause of a corresponding phal. जिसको ये बुद्धि में समझ आ गया, समझ should actually be बुद्धि, but I'm qualifying it extra. जिसको ये समझ आ गया कि कर्म ही फल देता है या बनता है, automatically you understand, as my quality of karma, whatever be the nature of my karma, so will be the result, but natural. If karmas alone are sufficient. Alone is quote unquote only in the context. It's not alone. There is a Daivi factor, but that is now going to come in the yoga part. So leave that. Karma alone, when I say alone, emphasis is on the understanding that karma is corresponding to its result. Jaisa karm, vaisa phal. Hindi conveys a lot of things a lot better. जैसा कर्म वैसा फल, जैसे करनी वैसे भरनी. We often say that, no, we've heard it. जैसे करोगे वैसा भरोगे. That's it. जैसा करोगे वैसा भोगोगे. So of course it's wrong understanding is because कुछ भोगते हैं तो you try and अच्छा ये तो तुम्हारा कर्म है. No judgments like that. The law is कर्म की दृष्टि से whatever is being done, how you do it is what is going to determine the result. So we started by saying when there is vishad, means a state of unhappiness, and you want to look for happiness, you want happiness, not look for, you are looking for happiness, you want happiness, you want to get out of that mental state of unhappiness. Shastra says your first step is आपके पास एक बड़ी मुख्य शक्ति है कर्म की. ये शक्ति इतनी पावरफुल है बिकॉज इट इज अ लॉ. कर्म की शक्ति क्या है कि कर्म फल उत्पन्न करता है, कर्म से फल बनता है. जो नहीं था वो भी हो सकता है, जो कभी नहीं होना था वो भी कभी हो सकता है. जो इम्पॉसिबल है आज समझ में वो कल पॉसिबल हो सकता है. एंड द ऑपोजिट कैन ऑल्सो होल्ड ट्रू. जो हो रहा है वो खो भी सकता है, जो है वो जा भी सकता है. मीन्स in that idea that it is not, that karma is not nityam, it has the capacity to generate a phal. Just as we say, if you sow a apple seed, if you are living, if you are privileged to live in a place where you have ground ahead and you sow certain, say you are in a rented house but you have a garden ahead and you sow a mango tree and you sow a neem tree and you sow a plant, a neem seed and a mango seed and 2 3 more seeds like that, and then it's a rented house so you shift out. फल आया, आएगा. क्यों आएगा? बीज बोया है. बीज कैसे बोया? कर्म है वो. बीज बोना कर्म है. उस कर्म का इमीडिएट फल नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है. व्हाट इज द इमीडिएट फल? रादर as long as you were staying from that seed state to the sapling stage to that small tree stage, you watered the plant, you took care it's not infested, you allowed the, you were waiting for the tree to come one day and that you will then pluck and enjoy the fruit. But you shifted house in between. The tree was still not matured. When you sow the seed and when you get the fruit, फल कर्म, कर्म फल देता है, बट कालांतर, कालांतर मीन्स इन टाइम, काल अंतर है उसमें. कर्म करने वक्त, while you are doing karma, when I sow the seed and I thought I'm to stay here for 20 25 30 years and I took care of the seed and it became a little sapling and this much it was, and then I got the news that after a year or so I have to leave the place. After a year or two I have to leave the place. Now my question would be, will your taking care of the plant change? in attitude? Will you change the way you took care of the plant? Will you automatically change the way you approached that sowing of the seed at that time? क्या एक बिहेवियरल चेंज आएगा आपके अंदर? क्या एक एटीट्यूड बदलेगा आपके अंदर? कुछ वृत्तियां बदलेंगी, कोई थॉट प्रोसेस बदलेगा, कुछ होगा चेंज? Will there be a change in your mind when you got to know after a year or so, I will be leaving the place? It's my open question. Will there be a change?
Yes, yes. That's the normal reaction.
That
I'll give you an example. You won't go all out to, suppose you can't water the plant that day. You'll say, अच्छा कोई बात नहीं, आज नहीं होता है, कल कर देंगे. Things like that.
Absolutely. You can see it clearly.
Yes.
If one can identify this example and stick to this example, अगर लगेगा, अब समझ में आएगा what is Bhagwan saying. मतलब what is Karam Yoga? Now I sowed a seed with a lot of hope and expectation कि मुझे कल mango मिलेगा, इसमें से I'm going to enjoy my fruits of my action. मेरे करने का मैं भोगूंगी, मुझे I will enjoy the fruits of my action, quote unquote. We use these words in everyday life. I will enjoy the fruits of my actions. मेरा किया हुआ अब. That's why a lot of we work when we are young, so that later stage of our life we will sit and enjoy our retired life. आराम से जी अपना. People say that मेरा पैसा, मेरी कमाई, all of this. Now the question is, the minute I got to know the three factors that I said initially in the class, apply them in the example here now. When I sowed the seed, बीज बोया मैंने, डाला मैंने, there was this joy, एक आनंद था. Yes or no? Keep saying yes or no.
Yes, Iti.
है ना? Because we thought there was a hope, there was a expectation, there was an asha, there was a ichha. That ichha had made me identify with the desire to put the effort in the first, because it is effort, till the ground, sow the seed, water the seed, take care. मेहनत है. I'm ready to do that मेहनत. मुझे कोई resistance नहीं है. मुझे in fact I'm looking forward to doing that karma. I'm looking forward because there is the mind. मेरे में इच्छा है कि मुझे कल फल मिलेगा. So I am going to go through the course of action to such an extent. I know it's a long process. Before a tree gives fruit, I think, I don't know how many years, 10, 12 years probably. That 10, 12 years, I will have patience. I'm ready. Because I know kitna time lagega. So I will do whatever required for that much amount of time. But the minute I got to know, जब मैं को नहीं पता और मैं सोच रही हूँ कि मुझे ये फल मिलेगा, my ego is not high. I'm looking forward to the action. I have no interference. I'm not praying to Bhagwan, give the fruit next year. Hey Bhagwan, I will do Sola Vrat. Hey Bhagwan, I will do this. Hey Bhagwan, the first mango I will offer to you only. आप इसको please थोड़ा जल्दी कर दो ना please. Instead of waiting for 12 years, can I not get it within 2 years? आप तो भगवान हो, आप तो कुछ भी कर सकते हो, आप तो महाशक्ति हो, ये तो सब आप ही की सृष्टि है. Please, आप कुछ करो ना भगवान. I will offer you. And please is of course my way of saying it, but to Bhagwan, to each one of our Shraddha, we will use our own words and say, can you not hasten the process and get this fruit a little early? Do you ask for such a thing also? Will you ask such a thing? Yes or no? No.
You cannot, because you know it's going to take 12 years for it to come.
Period. You cannot even ask. because you know it is not possible for Bhagwan also to hasten the process. वो भी इसको जल्दी नहीं कर सकता. It's beyond his capacity also. It's beyond his niyam also. It's beyond his power. He cannot hasten the process of a fruit, the fructification of a fruit. That fruit, the minute I get to know I am not going to enjoy, what happened? Now you start seeing the vikar that will come in your mind. सबसे पहले राग और द्वेष में क्या होगा with reference to the same seed? First, foremost, with reference to the same seed and the same sapling that you have seen in front of you growing, what will happen with reference to that sapling when you see it now?
Lose interest. No love.
Lose interest.
You lose interest, period. Wonderful.
You look at it very wistfully कि ओ ये एक तबे में मेरा होने वाला था, अब ये मेरा नहीं है, ओहो मैंने लगा दिया, अब कोई और इसका फल उठाएगा.
वो सब second step बाद में, वो भी correct है. But first, absolutely on dot. You lose interest, period. मतलब अब धीमा पड़ता है interest. You may not lose it completely, but हल्का हो गया इंटरेस्ट. जो पहले एक एनर्जी थी, एक पहले इंटरेस्ट था, एक पहले enthusiasm था, एक पहले विगर था एक्शन में. एवरी डे यू वर केयरफुल ऑफ वाटरिंग इट, नॉट ओवर वाटरिंग, ऑल दैट यू वर रेडी टू अंडरगो ऑल द tapasya that was needed for it, quote unquote. You were ready to go through the whole process. Now what has happened? Suddenly the interest has changed. Let me put it this much. अब interest बदल गया. Interest बदल गया. From indifferent to anything else. Now that change of interest that has come, is it affecting my action? Directly?
Yes.
Yes.
It is bound to.
Yes. Let's keep it to yes or no. Yes.
Yes.
It will
Yes.
affect my interest. That interest is affecting my, the change in my interest is affecting my action, period. That change of action is going to affect the outcome of the result also? Yes or no?
Yes.
Because some days I will water, some days I will not water, sometimes I'm half-heartedly watering, sometimes I'm just doing it if I have to do, and if I can't do, I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel ownership of that anymore, that I must do. I have no responsibility anymore. मेरी मर्जी थी तो मैं करूं, नहीं करूं नहीं करूं, मतलब but I almost feel I've become freed of it now. May have become, I get disappointed, but I no longer feel the necessity to continue the action. I feel I have become free. That is called giving up action. अकर्मणि में आने की अवस्था, संन्यास लेने की अवस्था. What is that sannyas? I started an action, but I'm likely to now fall in my continuity sustaining that action. I will probably not be able to continue in the same manner. This is universal, please. ये आपकी मेरी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ये why are we able to bring out a universal answer? It is a universal response. Why is it a universal response? Later, sometimes we'll take it up. It is a universal response that I will lose interest. And once I have lost interest, change of interest is there. What happens to that ahankar with reference to that karam that I was doing? बढ़ता है, change होता है, in which manner?
मतलब राग द्वेष पे बात आ जाती है.
राग द्वेष पे.
मेरा मन करेगा तो करूंगी, नहीं मन करेगा तो नहीं करूंगी.
और उस कर्ता भाव का क्या होता है?
वो बढ़ता है.
हाँ.
क्योंकि आप राग द्वेष के पीछे भाग रहे हो ना.
हाँ, वो भी बदलता है. करेक्ट फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज वो भी बदलता है. एंड कैसे बदलता है? टू ईच वन आवर ओन नेचर. बढ़ भी सकता है. एंड बिकॉज आई एम इनडिफरेंट, वो नो, अहंकार गिरता नहीं है. वो चेंज जरूर होता है, बट दैट द्वेष के साथ भी जुड़ सकता है. एनीथिंग कैन हैपन. सो दैट इज चेंजिंग. This karta, supposing, extending the example, okay. Now, what happens to the phalicha? I have left the sentence half, I'll take it up later. What happens to the third component, phal ki ichha? The minute I knew that I am not going to get the phal of this, was the very fact that I lost interest in the karma. उसको करने की अब इच्छा ही नहीं रहेगी मुझे. I have to force myself, I have to push myself to water the plant. That फल की इच्छा ने ही कर्म को सस्टेन किया था. I hope in this example we can see it clearly. That फल that I was to get 12 years later is what was sustaining me for 12 years of effort. I was able to wake up every day with enthusiasm. I was able to act out of willfulness, do what is necessary to be done, etc. But the minute that फल अब मेरा शायद मुझे I have to leave. So now what? What will happen to the mind when it wants to now start acting? It will start giving justifications. अपने ना करने का. I don't know whether the next person coming will want a tree here or not. I don't know whether they'll find it as much useful or not. You'll start finding excuses to your karna, avoid karna. So this is that avastha example where I started a karma, but I gave it up. Halfway, I changed the way I am performing that karma. Now, supposing after 6 months of this dilly-dally in between, and all of us will have different responses to this in shades. So what will happen? Supposing all of us had sown a seed, how many of us, we are say whatever number says 20, 25 of us, if we have sown the seed, all of us say, okay, let's sow the seed, and all of us have the factor that we are going to change. All of us are going to have different emotional response to this fact that I have to now shift after 2 years. Our sapling will already start showing differences. And after 6 months or 1 year, you get to know that you don't have to shift. नहीं बदलना. आपको जगह बदलने की जरूरत नहीं है. Now what will happen to your approach to that seed again? To that sap.
Interest will be revived. Interest will be revived.
उसके पहले क्या होगा?
बड़ा रिग्रेट होगा कि मैंने इसको इग्नोर किया.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. पहले तो बुरा लगेगा कि ओहो, why did I not continue watering the way I was initially? Why did I allow it? Why did I change it? अगर मैं वैसे ही करती रहती जैसे पहले कर रही थी, शुरू में जैसे डाला था, why did I change? Because now who's going to be the bhokta of that fruit? I am going to be the bhokta of the fruit. I changed my action and my fruit has changed. If this is clear to us, Bhagwan is telling us, Shastra is telling us, Bhagwan word we only use because Krishna here is our Acharya. He is the spokesperson of this knowledge, the Vedic knowledge, eternal knowledge. He is the one who is going to, he is expounding to us, वो जो शोक हुआ है ना, जो unhappiness है, and you want happiness again, इसका बदलाव, इस स्थिति का बदलाव, मन की स्थिति का बदलाव, आपके इन छोटे छोटे कर्मों में जो आपके भाव बदलते हैं, उनको रीसेट करने पे होएगा. First step. And what is the resetting? Now start the example all over again. What is the resetting? When I sow the seed, what should be my resetting of my attitude?
Not expect a result.
I'm sowing the seed because as a human being, I am a consumer of nature. The least I can do is wherever I can, let me let me do what I can to return back to nature. I cannot be a consumer all the time. Let me sow the seed because I am eating fruits, whether someone else is sowing the seeds because of which I am eating the fruit. Let me sow a seed. मेरे पास जगह है, मेरे पास कैपेसिटी है, मेरे पास पानी है आज, मेरे पास सुविधा है. I can. Therefore, let me sow a seed. What will be your bhav after that? Now, I sow the seed. What is my enthusiasm in that sowing of the seed? Compare it to the first sowing of the seed when I was wanting the fruit for myself. Is there a quality change of enthusiasm? Is there a change in enthusiasm?
No, it can be just as much. I can now doing it for like for generations. I'm not just doing it for me, but generations ahead will value this fruit. This.
Do you see a change in your? It can be the same enthusiasm, but that
There'll be little detachment.
there will be a little change for the better. There is a little freedom in action. There is a little, I'm calling it little only because you have to discern the difference of manasthiti. When I'm sowing the seed with a pure intention, my intention is just pure, as doesn't mean it's purely my intention is I receive fruits or I'm eating fruits all the time. The least I can do in my lifetime is sow one fruit tree back in the world. एक तो कम से कम I can sow if I have a land and if I have a place, if I can. If I cannot, is a different matter. But the very fact I wanted to sow first is because I have all of that. So that change in the beginning itself, when I'm sowing the seed, because my understanding is not that I am going to eat the fruit, my understanding is that I am sowing because I'm already in a receipt of a lot of fruits. There are a lot of people in the world who are sowing seeds because of which there is a fruit available always. Every time I go to the market, I just pick them up without thinking. And then I just enjoy them without second thoughts. Now, my sowing of the seed, when I do it with this attitude, that it is not for me, but I'm doing it because I'm repaying back what I'm receiving. I can never repay back all, but I am sowing the seed, so that is the least obligatory I am to that receipt of fruits from everywhere in nature. The attitude is different from the very beginning. There is some sort of a sthirta, there is some sort of a detachment, there is some sort of a freedom.
A good feeling, good feeling.
Good feeling. There is a freedom from the beginning itself. Why? Now, that freedom is come from where? Where does that freedom come from?
From not being dependent on वो मुझे मिलेगा.
Excellent. You can see how. The freedom has come because I am giving up the attachment to the fruit कि वो मुझे मिलेगा. No doubt that in the first case, I was very energetic, I was very enthusiastic, I was driven for a result, and nobody could have stopped me. No doubt about all of that. But the minute my very purpose has changed to sow the seed, I find all that I had to generate, there's a different quality of it. There is enthusiasm still. There is still the willingness to go through the 12 years of that tapas. But there is freedom from that. There is a different state of mind. Now, second step. Halfway through, I got to know that I am not going to be staying here after some time. What will be your response now?
No problem, because this is anyway a repayment of what I've already got, so I'll continue working at it.
Exactly. Till the last day that I'm staying there, my very purpose was different. So till the last day that I'm staying there, I will continue to do what I'm supposed to do and ready to leave when I have to leave, leaving that fruit in the hands of nature. Ishvara, call it in one word. There are a lot of factors. The next neighbor, next person who comes wants it, doesn't want it, etc., etc. Now it is out of my jurisdiction of action. The day I have to exit that house, it is beyond my realm of action now, and I will leave it.
So that action becomes like a duty.
Absolutely. Correct. That what I am now ready to leave. The sudden knowledge that I will have to leave has not imbalanced my mind. Samatvam. It remains in samatvam. Why? Because in the first place itself, it was not attached कि ये मुझे मिलेगा. वो कर्म बांध रहा है जिसमें सोच है कि ये मुझे मिलेगा. मगर जो कर्म ऑलरेडी हो रहा है, बट नॉट विद एन आइडिया कि ये मुझे मिल रहा है, वो कर्म मुझे बांध नहीं रहा, वो मुझे फ्री कर रहा है. My mind is not affected at all. And now what happened when I get to know after a year or so, I took care of the tree. As best till the last day, I will take care of the tree as best as I can. Whoever has to enjoy will enjoy, or whatever has to happen, it's beyond my. So I'm in no way can either say let it continue, let it not. मेरे हाथ में ही नहीं है ना वो after that. Therefore, but when I get to know that I'm not going to be leaving now and I'm going to continue to stay here, now what happens to the bhav?
Still the same.
There is again a sense of relief, a gratitude in an English term. एक अंदर से there will be a sense of prayer automatically. Thank God for that buddhi of mine which did not change my action before, because I continued that action. अगर मेरी बुद्धि तब बदल जाती तो अब ये फल मुझे ही खाना है. क्योंकि मेरी बुद्धि नहीं बदली, अब फल मुझे ही मिल रहा है, एंड वो फल अब अच्छा ही मिल रहा है, because there was no compromise in the effort that had to go on for 12 years. This is Karam Yoga in a nutshell, in entirety, in example, in life, in every action possible. How it can be converted, and how Ishvara comes automatically in your action when you have the understanding that my capacity to act is all I have to repay back whatever I'm receiving to sustain my life at this point. Now, who are we still addressing? We are still addressing the first set. Remember? विषाद जो इसको योग बना रहा है. That person की पहली सीढ़ी क्या होगी? First step is these changes in your attitudes. कर्मों को लेके अपनी सोच को बदलना. right from the beginning, from where I start my action, up to the point that the fruit has to come. What are supposed to be my mental adjustments? What is my swabhavik nature? We have shown in example 1. What is to be replaced? Change of that swabhavik nature is example 2. When you just change the very base of your action, मैं क्यों ये कर्म कर रही हूं, मैं क्यों करना चाह रहा हूं, मैं कर्म, if I choose an action, the realm of action is a blank slate. What is it? It's a divine opportunity. It's an extraordinary power. Karma is one of the most, I can't glorify it enough. I can't express it enough in glorification. Karam is such a empowering siddhant. That karam is tying us all further and further into a state of samsara. दुख का कारण बनता रहता. In the first example, कितनी बार वो दुख का कारण बना? जब मैंने बीज बोया तब तो सुख था, खुशी थी, फल मिलेगा, बहुत खुशी थी. I was looking forward to it. But धीरे 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 वो खुशी कैसे बदली जब पता चला कि अरे I will not be staying here now. दुख का कारण बन गया. Oh, I wish, I wanted to. I was going to put, what is that swing that goes on the trees? What is it called? Hammock. Oh, I was going to tie a hammock there. I wanted to sit and read a book, fantasizing that place. Now, it became a cause of dukh. In between, a lot of other things would have happened. कर्म को जब हम फल से जोड़ के कर्म कर रहे हैं तो वो दुख का ही कारण बनते हैं. दुख अगर आ रहा है, इट्स अ बिग स्वीपिंग स्टेटमेंट. अगर दुख आ रहा है तो यू हैव टू चेक, वेयर वाज माय थिंकिंग नीडिंग एडजस्टमेंट. मेरी सोच में बदलाव कहाँ चाहिए था. That is why I said a little while ago, an honest knowledge of your own nature today is very essential for any karam yogi to become. कर्म योगी को पहले तो ये जानना चाहिए कि मुझे क्या चीजें डिसअपॉइंट करती हैं, मुझे क्या चीजें दुख देती हैं, मुझे क्या चीजें बांधती हैं, मेरे को क्या उम्मीदें हैं, मुझे क्या होप्स हैं, मुझे क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं, मैं कैसे स्वाभाविक दृष्टि को अपनी जीती रहती हूँ. मतलब like everybody else, just like I said, all of us will have the same common nature. How do I keep expressing myself there? Once I know this, that second stage where he said, changing it from the very base, कर्म करने की मेरी इच्छा ही, उसको क्या मैं रिफाइन कर सकती हूँ? Can I find an action that I can do, which I should do, whose result I am not looking at? These are very beautiful, thought-provoking statements. Vedanta is thought-provoking. It pushes you to think. That, can I do an action? कोई कर्म ऐसा करूं जो फल डायरेक्ट मुझे रिलेटेड हो भी ना, बट मुझे वो करना चाहिए बिकॉज आई एम अ रिसीवर ऑफ किसी और के वो कर्म का मैं फल भोग रही हूं. There are many layers of this. I may not be able to bring them all together in one thought, but this is enough to identify that हमारे उन कर्मों को हम चूज करें Let me choose. Let me employ myself. Let me volunteer myself for a set of action that surely is going to give a result, but I am not looking at a result for myself. Possible or not possible? Yes or no?
Yes.
Anybody who says no?
Yes.
It is
Could
possible.
you please repeat your question again?
The question is any one of us not in acceptance of the fact that I can do some actions which are not direct? I can do a set of actions which are not directly, whose result will come to me. I'm not looking at that result. Can I do some set of actions? Can I initiate some actions? Can I engage myself in some set of action? एक कर्म नहीं हो सकता वो. बीज को पेड़ बनने में 12 साल का कर्म लगेगा. A set of action, a continuity of an action. कर्म फल देगा, और वो फल मुझे मिले ना मिले, आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन. But I should be doing that karam because I am already in a receipt of a lot of things from a lot of places in the world. तो मुझे भी कुछ करना चाहिए जिसका फल मुझे मिले ना मिले. Is this possible or not possible? That's the question.
It is possible अगर सद्बुद्धि होगी तो.
उम्मीद तो यही है कि
Like you said, that's against the human instinct, but it is very, very possible.
Absolutely. That is against human instinct, but that possibility is shown in the shastra. ये हम अपने आप से सोचते ही नहीं कभी, क्योंकि हमारे नेचुरल स्वभाव से कुछ बात अलग है ये. मगर गीता क्या कह रही है, भगवान कृष्ण यहाँ क्या कह रहे हैं हमको, वेद क्या कहता है, वेदांता क्या कह रहा है, दैट अगर हम वो संसारी जीव हैं जो दुखी रहते हैं या अपने आप को दुखी समझते हैं, रहते हैं नहीं, समझते हैं, अगर हम अपने आप को अनहैप्पी समझ रहे हैं, आई एम लुकिंग फॉर मोर हैप्पीनेस, तरीका ये नहीं है कि आई गो इनटू द इंडल्जेंट realm ऑफ लाइफ, उससे मुझे सुख मिलेगा. सुख प्राप्त करने का एक तरीका है, और वो सुख पहली सीढ़ी है, अपने कर्मों में अपने भाव को बदलो and pick up a set of action. If someone says, but I do not have any set of action at this point, it is impossible that you cannot have creativity within yourself. That is why we said in the second chapter, Krishna said, Karam Yoga is Buddhi Yoga. You can, if you think for yourself, definitely any action can be converted into Karam Yoga. That I do not understand at all, कि मुझसे तो होता ही नहीं है, मुझे तो पता ही नहीं है. To such मंद बुद्धि मीन्स जो रिजिड है, स्वाभाविक में इतनी आदत पड़ गई है जीने की कि अब वो सोच की ऑप्शन खुल नहीं रही है सोच में. To them is said, do some Vedic karma, Shruti Smriti karma. Inhering in those karmas is automatically the yoga buddhi. Karam योग की बुद्धि उसमें अपने आप embedded है. You know, nowadays it's very interesting on these social medias when I have to share, supposing I have to share a recording, they say, do you want to embed a link? When I put a link of a class video that you can watch, you're not seeing the link actually. You're pressing on the button, supposing I've written link there, you're pressing there, but that is linking it to something else. What is that link? It's embedded there. जो आपको दिख नहीं रही, अदृष्ट है, मगर वो है. मगर आपको वो लिंक नहीं दिख रही है, आपको लिखा हुआ कुछ दिख रहा है, लेकिन लिंक क्या है, that all that long that it goes, you can't see the link. That link is embedded. That word is very important. In the same way, all our Vedic karmas, uh, which have Smriti karmas, which have Bhagwan introduced, कर्म योग इज अर्पण बुद्धि. अर्पण बुद्धि से कर्म किया हुआ. Now, जब कोई कहे जी हमको तो पता ही नहीं अर्पण कैसे करते हैं, हमें भगवान ही नहीं पता, हमें ईश्वर नहीं पता, कुछ भी नहीं पता, तो हमें तो सिर्फ ये पता है कि इफ आई वर्क आई वांट दिस रिजल्ट, and if I don't get result I get disappointed. Therefore then I look for another thing, and then I look for another thing, and that is it. This is all I know. I have no more time than that. Well, then you are a samsari, and we leave it at that. Don't ask for more happiness because you won't get it. This is how shastra says is the course of your life going to be. Anybody, everybody, irrespective of where you are, which religion you are, which class you are a human being, right? That's enough qualification to say that if you live your life on prakrit swabhav, natural expression of your own nature, then you will be having some happiness and some unhappiness. Accept that as a part of life and forget asking for more happiness, forget asking for more joys, forget asking for lasting peace, don't ask all that because it's contradictory. But if you're asking, it is not impossible to get. It is possible. But how is it possible? Not by your own nature can you get it like that. You'll have to change yourself. And that changing yourself means change the way you do your action as the first step. So अगर आपको अपने normal life में नहीं दिख रहा कि how can I change, introduce some alaukik karma. In that alaukik karma, arpan buddhi, prasad buddhi is embedded. As a result of which what will happen? Now comes the next stage. अगर आप ये करते रहोगे for a little time of your life, that little is subjective. How much dridta of your own swabhavik nature you have had before, it's subjective to that. But as I just said in the second example, slowly what will happen? My ahankar is not expressing, my ragadvesh is not growing, my disappointments are not functioning. Slowly, I find more and more freedom from these impulsive expression of my nature and behavior. That is called chitta shuddhi. As a result of which, I find my buddhi getting sharper. I have viveka. वैराग्य आई एम ऑलरेडी देयर बिकॉज फल से मैंने अपने आप को वैसे ही मुक्त कर लिया है. फल इच्छा रखी ही नहीं है, मैंने शुरू से ही नहीं रखी, तो मेरे को फल इच्छा को छोड़ने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ी. In that sowing of the seed, I never wished that I would get the fruit for myself. I'm ready to put that effort, but I'm ending it at that. तो जब मैंने वो फल की इच्छा ही नहीं बनाई, तो अब मैं उसको छोड़ने की क्या कोशिश करूंगी? है ही नहीं फल की इच्छा. That vairagyam is already there, and because of which my indriya nigraha, mano nigraha has already taken place, because every day I have woken up and done that action of watering the plant without any expectation. My रागद्वेष I have managed. Means जब मन ने कहा कि ये तो फल तुम्हें नहीं मिलेगा, I told myself doesn't matter, I will still do it. तो वो जो मन में बीच में आता रहता है कर्म करते वक्त, जो अशुद्धि के जैसे आता है, what is that अशुद्धि? Which is going to impact your actions, performance. कर्म करने की बाधा बनेगा वो. क्या बाधा बनेगा? Why should I do it now? उस बाधा को I fought. I said, no, I will still do it. That I fought, and I did not allow the chitta shuddhi to take, I'm sorry, I did not allow raga dvesh to express. I did not allow my ahankar to interfere. I did not allow the result to interfere with my continuity of that action. That is purifying me. Who's the greatest beneficiary of this karma? देखने को दिखता है कि मैंने फल अपने लिए नहीं किया, बट सबसे ज्यादा बेनिफिशियरी ऐसे कर्मों का हम ही हैं, बिकॉज जो चित्त शुद्धि हो रही है, वो चित्त शुद्धि is the first step. So Krishna says, Veda says, and therefore Krishna says in the Gita, कि that first set of people will have to work for चित्त शुद्धि. अपने कर्मों को प्योरीफाई करते जाओ. कब तक करोगे? You will know it. अपने आप वैराग्य आता है, अपने आप विवेक शक्ति चलती है, अपने आप शमदम आता है, अपने आप तितिक्षा बनती है, अपने आप समत्व होता है. You will find the change. That चित्त शुद्ध मनः जो है, now you will find at a particular point when you have come and you're no longer, you're naturally oriented to work just because you should work. एक स्वभाव बन जाता है. In fact, if you're told that you will get something out of it, you lose interest. क्योंकि आपको पता है कि वो तो बांध देगा ना आपको कर्म. So why will you be interested in losing your peace of mind? Is that sentence clear? Because it's showing the contrast.
It is.
So the fact that it becomes your second nature, दुनिया क्या कहेगी, forget about it. दुनिया जो कहने वाली है, वो जहां जा रही है, that is clear to you. Do you want to go there also? Do you want to be a samsari also? The fact that you will be the greatest beneficiary of this karam yoga, that is your first step. What is the beneficiary? The beneficiary is chitta shuddhi aapki ho rahi hai. You will only be thankful to the things around you and people around you are giving you the opportunity कि now I can neutralize my rag dvesh. Now I can neutralize my ahankar. मेरा सबके जैसे मेरा भी कर्मों में बैठा है, फल में बैठा है. सबके जैसे we are all common people. We are all common alike. As I always say in my, why do we have medical science in the first place? Because even our bodies are alike. All of us have heart in the same place, lung in the same place, functioning the same way, eyes in this. So we can have specialists. मेरी आँख में कुछ खराब हो रहा है तो an ophthalmologist will go and tell me तुम्हारी आँख में ये problem है. Why? Because सबकी आँखें एक जैसी हैं. In the same way, when I do not know who I am, that is a whole next prakarnam where चित्त शुद्ध मन होके जब एक जिज्ञासा आती है, जो जिज्ञासा में राग द्वेष नहीं है, मुझे कुछ चाहिए नहीं है, that जिज्ञासा is pure seeking of answers regarding life, birth, death, even karma, everything. You want to know now. You are free from what I want to do. There is no obligation felt to do anything. You're already doing, you're already repaying, you're already constantly doing for the sake of others. अब मन में कोई obligation नहीं रह जाती है. Feel नहीं रह, you'll continue to do, but you don't have any more obligation feeling left. Such people, there will be very few, far and few, fewer in number, but these are the people who are now ready for the second step. दूसरी अवस्था. What is that second step of Purusharth? This is your first Purusharth. Karam se karma yog ki buddhi. That is first Purusharth. That karma yog ki buddhi se embedded is chitta shuddhi. You will get chitta shuddhi. This chitta shuddhi onwards starts the second Purusharth. And that Purusharth is Jnana Roop. It's in the nature of knowing. Not knowing कि मुझे कर्म कैसे करने हैं, but knowing I am a conscious being. I'm showing life. And I presume that I am born, I will die, have to die. I know there's a date of expiry written. While all this is happening, seasons are rolling effortlessly as if sun rises. I at least see it as sun rising. Day and night follows. There is this conscious being who is always there with me. I am always conscious. Even when I'm in a sleepy state, mechanically doing work, but I can never say I'm not conscious, a conscious person. ये कौन है? क्योंकि ये तो कुछ अलग दिख रहा है. करने वाला तो अलग दिख रहा है, but that conscious person तो कुछ अलग दिख रहा है. I want to know that. Then Vedas says, now you are ready in the real sense. You freed yourself from the bondage of karma. By your attachment to phalam, you have now become detached from phal. कर्म कर सकते हो आप बिना किसी आशा के, इसलिए आशा नहीं है तो निराशा नहीं है, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. कर्म आप कर सकते हो सेम एंथुजियाज्म लगा के that the first person would have put the first example. You can continue doing this. In fact, Krishna is going to give this advice to Arjun very soon. With the same enthusiasm, you do karma for yoga. Oh, Arjun, this second person now, the second stage of this person now, जिसकी अंतकरण शुद्धि हो गई है, they are ready for ज्ञान, आत्मज्ञान. क्योंकि वो जो conscious being तुम्हारे साथ है, तुम हो, वो तुम नहीं जानते. तुम्हें पता है कि आई एम अ कॉन्शियस बीइंग, मगर वो मैं हूँ, वो अज्ञान है. उस ज्ञान के लिए, अज्ञान की निवृत्ति के लिए, now you have to have a lot of disciplined knowledge of Vedanta, Atmagyan. Disciplined, why? Just as your karma had to be disciplined, your gyan will also have to be disciplined. Random knowing will not work. That random knowledge doesn't help. चित्त शुद्ध मन अपने आप डिसिप्लिन स्टूडेंट होता है, डिसिप्लिन थिंकर होता है. If you are not चित्त शुद्ध, then even if you have gyan, it will help to some extent. But Shastra is saying the second stage is now open to receive the knowledge of their own nature. Or inko, complete giving up of the realm of karma is sanctioned. कर्मों से अब इन्होंने खुद ने निवृत्ति पाई है. Karmas don't bind them. Therefore, Shastra says we have no more obligation. You have no more obligatory actions to perform. You have freed yourself from it. You have no more obligatory actions to perform. Therefore, you can remain engaged in the disciplines of Gyan, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasan. Vedant ka Shravan karo from a proper, in a manner in which you can be reflective over that knowledge. Keep your mind in doing what you should be doing, but keep your mind in also reflecting what you should be knowing. That should also require some purusharth. Stay with it. Therefore, such a second person, Krishna said here, is Sankhyanam, the ones who desire to know. जिनमें इच्छा है अब जानने की, वो सांख्या नाम के लिए ज्ञान योग है. एंड द फर्स्ट कैटेगरी योगियों के लिए मीन्स चित्त शुद्ध करने वालों के लिए कर्म योग is your first step. Then he gave from the fourth verse onwards. The simple reason Arjun got confused was because if Gyan Yoga is taking me to liberation, oh Krishna, why are you telling me to do this ghor karma of killing my own people? That killing my own people is what is telling him to give up action. Do you see how the mind changed? If you can remember the example now for the whole chapter that we have to do, I may refer back to this example again and again. हमारा मन बदला था जब हमें पता चला कि अब मुझे फल नहीं मिलना, ये मेरे लिए नहीं है. मन बदल गया था. अर्जुन भी लड़ने के लिए आया था, फुल्ली तैयार होके. He also had 12 years of a lot of tapas, fought with Indra, got his Brahmastra, pata nahi what all he, that pure idea that it is his dharma as a Kshatriya to fight a war, dharmic war. But the minute he saw people, affection arose, his attachment arose, and a doubt came, is this really my dharma? A legitimate doubt, no doubt. But that doubt reveals to Krishna, who is an Acharya here, he has Brahma Vidya, he knows the manasthiti of Arjun, and uski manasthiti ke hisab se, the very words that he has used is showing that he still needs Chitta Shuddhi. He's still not got vairagyam from phal. वो फल से डर रहा है, जो फल आउटकम आएगा ऑफ द वॉर, उससे वो डर रहा है. Therefore, Krishna said, even though Gyan is superior in the sense it will take you direct to your liberation, what you want, but you are not yet ready for that stage. तुम्हें तो अभी अपने कर्म और कर्म योग में establish होना है. Establish in that. Therefore, having Arjun asked this question, why are you telling me? Krishna is now giving him answers from the standpoint of why Karam Yoga is necessary for him. And when we say for him, it applies to who? Us. As in who? The first example that I took. Who is us?
Jiva.
Who is that
The
Jiva?
conscious being.
Okay. What is his expression of his own self at this point? वो क्या समझता है अपने आप को? वो जीवा, वो कॉन्शियस बीइंग अपने आप को क्या समझ रहा है? From where I started today, class today. First chapter क्या है?
Vishad.
विषाद. वो अपने आप को संसारी, वो अपने आप को अटैच्ड फील हो रहा है, दुखी फील हो रहा है. अर्जुन अपने आप को दुखी समझ रहा है कि मैं दुखी हूं, इसलिए तो ही इज आस्किंग फॉर एन आंसर. द फैक्ट कि तुम रिजल्ट को लेके दुखी हो रहे हो, I don't think it can ever come out as clearly as this. What is Arjun dukhi? Result ko leke. Because he is dukhi result ko leke. Therefore, O Arjun, तुम्हारे ही शब्द, तुम्हारी ही मनस्थिति के कारण मैं तुमको बोल रहा हूं कि तुम्हारे लिए कर्मयोग बेटर है, कर्मा बेटर है. Not because I want you to do karma. मैं नहीं चाह रहा कि तुम कर्म करो कि ना करो. Krishna doesn't want Arjun to fight or not fight. Arjun asked, what is in my hit? मेरा श्रेयस किसमें है? मेरा भला किसमें है? How can Krishna give him a wrong advice? Knowing कि संन्यास, कर्म संन्यास में सबके लिए applicable है. At a stage जब तुम चित्त शुद्ध हो चुके हो. मगर अभी तो तुम कर्म के आउटकम से, फल के आउटकम से ही दुखी हो रहे हो. So where are you ready for karma sannyas? Where are you ready for Gyan Yoga? Therefore, I'm telling you to do karma as yoga. But Arjun तब इतना व्याकुल था कि उसने as yoga सुना नहीं ठीक से शायद, तो उसे समझ नहीं आया. He is still not able to see because it is an education. I'm repeating myself. हम स्वाभाविक दृष्टि से सोच ही नहीं सकेंगे ये जो योग की दृष्टि शास्त्र हमें बताता है. कृष्ण ने भी बताया सेकंड चैप्टर में, बट वो नेचुरली इनग्रेन नहीं हो पाया आसानी से अर्जुन में, बिकॉज इट इज समथिंग डिफरेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट आवर नेचुरल इंक्लिनेशंस विल मेक अस एक्ट एज. You have to grow into it. You have to adapt to it. You have to put conscious effort to change yourself in many ways in which you do your actions. Therefore, since Arjun had missed the point, Krishna in the third chapter is now elaborating the same point. अब वो उनको in depth कारण दे रहा है. And what was in the fourth verse? He said, Arjun, by your very स्वभाव, जिसमें राग द्वेष भरा है, जिसमें स्नेह भरा है, जिसमें ममत्व भरा है, जिसमें भरा है मीन्स है, स्वाभाविक सब में है. When we are already all this, then na karmana anarambhat naishkarmyam purush. Okay, that was a pratigya statement. This is what he's going to explain in the next verses. कि बिना कर्मों किए तुम्हारे को नैष्कर्म्य प्राप्ति नहीं होगी, फ्रीडम फ्रॉम कर्मा की स्थिति नहीं प्राप्त होगी. एंड न च संन्यासनात् एव, freeing yourself, prematurely giving up your actions is not also going to help you in any way. That is his pratigya. That is the statement which is going to now give reasons to collaborate. So in the 5th verse, he had said, for the simple reason that when you have a achit, ashuddha chitta, रागद्वेषी मन जब है आपका, इच्छाओं से भरा हुआ, मुझे ये फ्रूट चाहिए, मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे वो चाहिए, मुझे ऐसा बनना है, मुझे वैसा मुझे यहाँ जाना है, मुझे वहाँ जाना है, मुझे इतना पैसा मिल जाए तो मुझे पूरी दुनिया घूमनी है, मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे ऐसा घर चाहिए, मुझे ये खाने को चाहिए, मुझे अगर ऐसा मिल गया तो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, मुझे वो इंसान अच्छा नहीं लगता है. So much chatter we have in our minds. जिसके मन में ये सब भरा हुआ है, कृष्णा's first reason is, ऐसा इंसान वैसे भी क्षण भर भी चुप नहीं बैठेगा, मीन्स विदाउट डूइंग एनीथिंग वो वैसे भी नहीं बैठेगा. वाई? उसकी प्रकृति ही उसको कर्म करने में फोर्स करेगी. अपने आप अपने स्वाभाविक दृष्टि से वो कर्म में जाएगा. सो दैट इज द फर्स्ट रीजन व्हाई यू शुड एक्ट, बिकॉज एनीवे बाय योर वेरी नेचर रागद्वेषी, अविद्यावान, अशुद्ध मनः, ये वैसे भी कुछ ना कुछ कर्म में जुट जाएंगे, लगे रहेंगे, क्योंकि उनको फल इच्छा है. Their happiness rests on fruits. Therefore, first reason, such people will anyway not sit quiet. And the 6th verse he had said, but those people who say I will not do, now this is pure education. जो मन में रस रखते हैं भोगों का, ये फल चाहिए, वो भोगना है, ये इच्छा पूरी करनी है, वो चाहिए, means all my mangoes and my apples are in front of me all the time, but I do not want to sow the seed. I don't want to work for it, but मुझे सब mangoes and apples चाहिए, but मुझे कर्म नहीं करना. So he says such people, very technically Krishna uses the word, unka acharan, means the way they express themselves and live is mithya, is false, pretentious. They are pretending to be as if they are, unhe kuch nahi chahiye, renunciates. But heart to heart, if somebody gives it to them on a platter, they will love it, they will enjoy it, they want it, but not because they should work for it. So जो कर्म इंद्रियों को संयम रखता है, मीन्स ऑर्गन्स ऑफ एक्शन को आप कंट्रोल में रखते हो, मीन्स आई विल ओनली डू व्हाट आई कैन डू, व्हाट आई शुड डू, दैट इज इट. बट मन से आप उस पर ड्वेल करते हो, स्मरण, यू आर कॉन्स्टेंटली रिमेंबरिंग द फ्रूट्स, यू आर कॉन्स्टेंटली रिमेंबरिंग द इंद्रियों के विषय, सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट्स, सेंस एंजॉयमेंट्स में आपका मन लिंगर करता है. When you sit daydreaming, you sit. Some people who daydream, if they're dreaming something of the fulfillment of the desire, they have a smile on their face and they don't register also. Suddenly you're enjoying some visual in your mind which you desire to live, but in your mind you are living. But physical world is devoid of that expression of desire. But मन में है. और बाहर क्या दिख रहा है? I'm not pursuing it. Such people who dwell on indriya artha, they are vimudhatma. They are fooling themselves. उनकी बुद्धि उल्टी चल रही है. They are not thinking properly. And that vimudhatma, Shankara had only given us the word vimudha antakaranam. I'll just take 2 more minutes. जिसका अंतकरण विमूढ़ है, पूरा deluded है. And here मधुसूदन सरस्वती that विमूढ़ अंतकरण को एक और एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए, and that will connect the whole class today. What is that vimudhatma? Raga, dvesh, adi, dushit antakaran. So who is called vimudha atma in the verse shlok that Krishna says, you are a vimudha atma? Who is that vimudha atma? That vimudha, हाँ, So चित्त शुद्धि नहीं है. So this indriyarthan vimudhatma is called a mithyachari. Means मन में राग द्वेष है. You know that Hindi saying, मन में लड्डू फूटते हैं. What is that? Anybody knows that full? मन में तो लड्डू फूट रहे हैं, but there is some but with reference to action. You know?
दिखारे से कुछ नहीं हुआ या something like
हाँ,
that.
something.
दिखारे कुछ नहीं हुआ या normal है.
हाँ, that. So the first thing he says, so here is Hetu 1 is this 5th verse. 2nd verse he is cautioning. He says 6th verse he is cautioning. Krishna is cautioning कि ऐसा कभी भी मत करना कि अपने कर्मों को रोक के तुम सोचो कि तुम आनंद की स्थिति में रहोगे और तुम मोक्ष पालोगे या तुमको शांति मिल जाएगी. अगर मन में तुम्हारे लड्डू फूट रहे हैं so that means your chit is now still needs purification of your own ragadvesh. So ragadvesh should be your attention. मेरा मन अगर रागद्वेषी है तो मैं कर्म का अधिकारी हूँ. अगर मैं रागद्वेष से मुक्त हूँ, to some extent, nobody can be Gyan Yoga doesn't say you should be perfectly having no ragadvesh. No, that's not the condition. Relatively, if you're ready for knowledge, you should have at least less ragadvesh compared to your own normal स्वभाव जो आपका पहले रहता, उससे तो कम हो जाना चाहिए. So such a one is a mithyachari. Now contrasting that mithyachari, 7th verse which we'll do tomorrow is where he's showing who is a karam yogi. कैसे बनेगा वो karam yogi? Means now Krishna is educating us. वो जो बदलाव हमें अपने अंदर लाने हैं कर्मों में, वो क्या होने चाहिए? That he's going to start advising in a general sense. Examples and everything that keep coming in the class, we'll keep elaborating. But Krishna will give us an outline of it. Okay? So we'll end the class here.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Most welcome. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma kaschit dukha bhag bhave. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaah go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Recording has stopped.
धन्यवाद दीप्ति जी.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
धन्यवाद everyone.
The broadcast of Facebook Live
I
has
had a
stopped.
little bit of a question.